Today we're going to talk about same data in the different display and how to pick out a chart that has the same data but looks different because it's a different kind of chart. This question says, which circle graph represents the same data as the bar chart? So I'm going to start by looking at the bar chart. I can see in the bar chart that the question was the votes for the favorite class. Math received 20 votes, English received 10 votes, Science received 15 votes, and Social Studies received 5 votes. After reading the questions and looking at the circle chart choices, I can eliminate 2 of them just by using logic and not really using a whole lot of math. What I will do is look and see which follows the correct order. I know that math should be the largest sector in the pie chart, followed by science, then English, and social studies should be the smallest. So look at the circle graphs and see which ones do not follow that order. If you want to go ahead and pause right now and answer it for yourself, that would be a great idea. See if you agree with what I choose. So the ones that I am going to eliminate are choices A, because science is represented as the largest sector, and also choice C, because in this one, social studies and English are represented as equal sectors, and in the bar chart, they are clearly not equal. Both choices B and D are represented in the right order, math being the largest, followed by science, then English, and social studies as the smallest sector. At this point, you might be tempted to guess, but there is a much better way. It's called doing math, and I'm going to show you exactly what you can do. Really, there's just one little math thing that you need to do to be able to figure this one out. Both of these graphs show that math is the largest sector. However, they show different percentages. Choice B shows 40%, and choice D shows 50%. So all I really need to do is calculate what is the percentage in the bar chart, and then I can see which one it matches. That will be my correct choice. I know that a percentage is really just a number that is out of 100. So a percentage is really equal to something that is out of 100. And if I can figure out what number is on top when a percentage is out of 100, then I know that percent. So I'm going to start by making a fraction. I'm going to have to add up the total number in my bar chart to figure out what my denominator currently is, because the denominator of a fraction is a total. And the percentages have basically a total of 100. So I need to start by first figuring out what is my total number of people who voted in this survey. If I add up the numbers 20, 10, 15, and 5, I get a total number of 50 people who took the survey. And I know that math received 20 votes. So 20 out of 50 represents the portion of people who chose math. So if 20 out of 50 is representative of my group in this bar chart, I basically want to figure out how many is that out of 100. I'm going to need to create an equivalent fraction. If I want an equivalent fraction, I need to figure out what was done on the bottom and do the same thing on the top. For example, 50 times something is going to equal 100. If I can figure out what it is, I can do that thing on the top and the bottom and have my percentage. Well, I know that 50 times 2 is equal to 100. So all I need to do is the same exact thing on the top. I need to take 20 times 2, and I will have my number over 100, which is the definition of a percent. As you probably know, 20 times 2 is 40. So the answer is that 40% of the people liked math, because 20 out of 50 represents 40%. If you look at your bar chart and your circle graphs now, you can find the one that has the correct sector in blue with 40%. That one should be choice B. So I can eliminate choice D. I know it's not that one because my section of people who liked math was not 50%, it was 40%. And I have my correct answer. Now you do have a calculator on this part of the test, and if you wanted to create your fraction 20 out of 50 like we did before, your part over your whole, your math over your total number of voters, you could always create that and then do the work on the calculator. If you take the top number and you divide it on the calculator by the bottom number, it will give you a decimal. That decimal would be 0.4. On the calculator, the next step that you would do would just be to multiply that decimal by 100. And you would be turning that decimal into a percent. If you do that, you will see that it is 40%. So two different ways that you can do the math here. One is mental math and the other one is using a calculator. And you can use either one and get the exact same answer. So here are the 3 steps that I always use when I'm doing a problem like this. The first thing I do is I try to use logic. I look at the bar chart and I look at the circle graphs and I decide what are they supposed to look like. And then number 2, I will eliminate anything that is clearly not the correct choice. I always have a reason for it. I don't just cross something out. But if math is supposed to be the biggest and it's not, I can cross that one out without doing math. And then number 3, finally, whatever I'm left with, I'm going to prove mathematically one way or the other that yes, it does work or no, it does not, until I'm left with a final answer that does work. The biggest thing that helps me when I'm actually trying to do the math is to remember that a percentage is really just any number over 100. And a fraction is a part that's over a whole. So if I have a number and the total number of people in the bar chart is not out of 100, then I'm going to have to create a fraction and make an equivalent. Because I know these two things are going to need to be equal to one another. But the bottom number, the total number of people, for example, in the bar chart may not be 100. So that's where the math comes in. And I need to make both the top and the bottom equivalent and out of 100. Or the other way around. If you have a problem and you're given a circle graph and you're asked to choose out of bar charts instead, the reverse sort of way that this question was, then you might have to go in the opposite direction. But again, just understanding that a percent is a number out of 100 and any fraction is a part out of the whole or out of the total if you like to use the word total better. So you can also think of part out of total, like the total number of people or the total amount of money or whatever it is that you're talking about. Hopefully this video helps you a little bit as you're working on the problems. And make sure that you do not guess. Make sure that you do use some math. Ask your teacher if you need a little bit of help. That's what they're there for. Good luck.